everybody. Have you ever wanted to pray for somebody or for yourself in a situation, but it's so confusing, it's so complicated, it's so challenging and difficult, you don't even really know where to start in your prayers? Well, today's message will help you know what to pray for in any situation and circumstance. And as we are thinking about the answer to that question, what can I pray for, rolling around in the back of our mind, I'd like you to direct your thoughts to this kind of unrelated and yet related thing. What is the deepest part of planet Earth? It's the Mariana Trench in the Pacific Ocean. The Mariana Trench is located between Australia and Japan, maybe a couple thousand miles or so from each country, and also 1,500 miles or so from the Philippines. The Mariana Trench is almost 7 miles deep. That means that it's roughly a mile deeper than Mount Everest is high. That is unfathomable. Can you even imagine how far 7 miles is, and then to go straight down into the ocean, how much water is in that trench? And yet, just as unfathomable, even more so perhaps, is the love of Christ, even deeper than the Mariana Trench. The love of Christ is so deep we can't even fathom it, because how much love does it take to forgive someone who hurts you? How much love does it take to want to die for someone who is taunting you and otherwise would be under your skin if you didn't love them? How much love does it take to keep teaching patiently disciples who don't get it the first time, second time, or third time? To keep teaching patiently enemies who ignore you and even hear what you say and then march off in the opposite direction? The love of Christ is deep, and that's what we lean on in our prayers. Listen to these verses from Philippians chapter 1. And this is my prayer, that your love may abound more and more in knowledge and depth of insight, so that you may be able to discern what is best and may be pure and blameless for the day of Christ, filled with the fruit of righteousness that comes through Jesus Christ to the glory and praise of God. We can always pray to get to know Jesus' love better. We can always pray for other people that they might get to know Jesus' love better. The unfathomable love of Christ that is even deeper than the Mariana Trench. How much love does it take to forgive someone who thinks money is what life is all about and refuses to listen to God? To forgive someone who refuses to pray for help at any time? To forgive someone who is very disrespectful to authority, parents, teachers, authorities of any kind? How much love does it take to forgive someone who grabs grudges and won't let go? To forgive someone who lusts for sex outside of boundaries any chance they get? To forgive someone who is greedy and always wanting more, and they're never satisfied no matter how much they have? How much love does it take to forgive someone who gossips all over the place and charges ahead to judgment without having even a fraction of the facts? The love of Christ forgives all of that. The love of Christ is so great, it drove him to be willing to die for the sins of the world, including all of yours, including all of that person, whoever you're praying for. So what an awesome prayer it is that we get from Philippians chapter 1 here, that you can pray simply that you or they or anyone would get to know Jesus better, that they would abound in insight, in the depth of his love, which is unfathomable and unmeasurable. What a gift to know that, because when you know the depth of Christ's love, you have depth of insight. You can see things you couldn't see before in wonderful ways. You have the ability to discern what is best. You make good choices. You aren't flung around by emotions or flung around by current events. When the love of Christ abounds more and more in your soul, you will be blameless on Judgment Day and filled with fruit that lasts and that matters until that day comes, when the world ends and Jesus, who loves you so much you can't even count it, takes you home to glory. So the next time you want to pray but aren't sure where to start, the next time you want to pray for somebody but it's just so confusing and complicated, you just are kind of throwing up your hands in despair, just pray this. I pray they get to know the depth of Jesus' love better, because if they do, then everything will be helped. God bless you in your prayer life as you first get to know Jesus' love better, the depth of it more and more for you, and then help others to do the same.